Welcome back to PRI, Prep Recruiting Insider here at NOLA Motorsports Park in Avondale. I'm your coach for PRI, Rick Galey, along with our Prep Recruiting Insider, Mr. Renee Nato. And we are so happy to be joined today by former John Ehret Patriot and LSU Tiger, Drake Nevis. Drake, welcome to the show. Thank you for being here with us.
Thank y'all for having me.
And you're back in the West Bank again where you grew up and everything. But, you know, when you left Ehret as an All-American under Billy North, you were headed to Ole Miss, mainly because of Ed Orgeron and Frank Wilson, and they wound up coming to LSU. How was that recruiting process for you, and how did you wind up a Tiger, Drake?
Oh, it was awesome. Ed Orgeron and Frank Wilson, they're like family. And unfortunately, I chose to go to LSU because I was committed after junior day. So, I mean, it was tough, but that's how it happened. You know, they did everything they did, so it wasn't, you know, nothing against them. And we still talk about it, laugh about it till this day.
That's exactly right. And you've had an outstanding career at LSU, part of a national championship team and SEC champion. Talk about what it's like to prepare for the big game, because that's what LSU is all about, and LSU athletics is all about, is playing in the big game. Talk about how you prepare and how exciting that was to play in such big games.
It was easy for me because I had All-Americans to just follow their example. Something like Tyrann Mathieu in his freshman year, you know, he had to just follow what Patrick Peterson did, and he was productive and made plays.
You had a family, if you would, Tyson Jackson, Glenn Dorsey, Ricky Jean Francois, Al Woods. Man, that was all the defensive linemen. All you guys went to the NFL. Practice had to be special.
Practice was special. I mean, we pushed each other every day, and whenever somebody needed a blow, we was always ready with a fresh body, and really the lack of production, it didn't show.
And we had Bebe Ogeron on the show last year when he was between jobs, so to speak. And you had a chance to work with him. Talk about you know, what kind of person he is and how detailed he is.
He come with a lot of energy. You ready to play as soon as you meet him, because I mean, he's so passionate about it, and he's such a knowledge person of the game. And honestly, he got me better in less than 5 minutes. Whenever he see me, we're gonna do a 5-minute coaching clinic.
Your first day, I remember that you get on the field. I was at the game, Tulane, September 29th, as your freshman year, and Glenn Dorsey gets you ready to play. I mean, you playing in a dome as a true freshman. What was that like against Tulane that year?
It was, like I say, it was easy. You know, he's a veteran, so he have different ways of leading the team, whether it's a young guy or an older guy. You know, just with his experience and everything, he knew that all he had to do was just get me to relax, and I just play fast.
And you've had an interesting pro career so far, going from being drafted by the Colts and then going to the Chargers, Cowboys, Jaguars, Panthers, and now with the Hamilton Tiger Cats. But what I want to focus on is the transition that you've got to make and how transient really the NFL is, people moving in and out all the time. For instance, I say now there's no such thing as a final 53-man roster because it changes every week. This past season, the New Orleans Saints at one time or another utilized 68 players on their roster. That's in the top 5 in the league. The New England Patriots were the first with 73 players. But you're involved in a lot of that you're with one club one week and then with another club the next week having to move around. How does that affect you and your home life and you know, what is it like to go through all of that?
2013, I went on from camp with the Colts. Then I went to San Diego for 2 weeks. Then I went to Dallas for 11 weeks and played the last game of the season against the Colts for the Jacksonville Jaguars. So I know what you're talking about. It's a business, and sometimes, you know, you got to shuffle up rosters where it's injury or where there's lack of production, whether it's let's see if this new guy is better for our team. So it's a lot that plays a role in the shifting of the roster.
Going through that, Drake, you can feel there's a difference in locker rooms, don't you? When you go from one school, one team to another, you can feel a difference that this locker room is some type of way, and the guys on the team, you kind of get a temperature of the group pretty quick, don't you?
Oh yeah, definitely. Nobody know if they're going to be there the next day. So I mean, of course, you treat each other like brothers, but sometimes it's kind of challenging to like get attached to that person. So I mean, you pretty much handle it like it's a business. You're my teammate. I want to help you be successful, but slowly you form like off the field brotherhood.
And what makes a successful defensive lineman? We have a lot of young people watching this show, and especially defensive linemen in high school. What do they need to do to prepare themselves for the next level?
Start as early as you can with technique. You want to be able to get off the ball. You want to be able to be disciplined. You don't want to jump off sides. Your hands and your eyes is important. Your feet work and your step is important. You want to practice your technique as often as you can. In college, I had Jimmy Brumbard and Derek LeBlanc. They would come and work on me 5-10 minutes a day, and it played a part in me growing as a player.
A lot of LSU fans, we're showing you back in your LSU days, and Les Miles, he eats grass, he wears a hat, they call him the Mad Hatter. I know you know him as a player, and there's a side to Les that the average fan doesn't see. What kind of guy is Les?
Man, as you can see, his players, love him just as much as he loves us, and that's the wonderful thing about it. Just to go out and play for a guy who he's going to get the best out of you, but he's also going to treat you like a son. Make sure you get your degree. Make sure you work on, staying out of trouble off the field. Like he cares for you like a son, and it was always a pleasure playing for him, and being also a friend, also a family member to him. I mean, he always be special in my life.
When you go back there's a reconnect, isn't there?
Yeah, I can't wait to see them this offseason. Maybe I'll get to them soon, but it's just always a pleasure.
And that's what's different between college football and the NFL.
Yeah.
There's not quite the family atmosphere in the NFL because they keep kicking people to the curb.
That's right. LSU, I spent 4 years, and the longest I spent in Indy was 2 years. So, 4 years, you're going to bond with each other.
That's right. That is Drake Nevis, outstanding player for the John Ehret Patriots under Coach Billy North, and up at LSU, now with the Hamilton Tiger Cats. A great resource for what you have to do to be successful as a defensive lineman. We're here at NOLA Motorsports Park in Avondale. This is Prep Recruiting Insider. We're going to be right back after this timeout. This is PRI.